rather sick. Friday, September the 7th, 1984, Wigan versus Bradford Northern at Central Park. Wigan's first home game of the season. Second league match, having had a very fine win last Sunday at Castleford. Half time they looked as they were absolutely dead, being thoroughly thrashed by Castleford and having had John Pendlebury sent off. In the second half they came out in great spirit and achieved a wonderful victory, a victory which they will be hoping to repeat tonight on their first home appearance of the season against Bradford Northern. Wigan's team for tonight's clash is fullback Edwards, Ferguson, who had a fantastic debut last Sunday, on the right wing, Stevenson and Ramsdale in the centre. Today Whitfield is the substitute, so we have Dave Stevenson and Ramsdale at centre, and number 5 is Gill, who's just back from holiday, playing his first match. At standoff, Cannon and Fairhurst. Front row, Courtney, 9 O'Neill, 10 Case, who's now going to have a presentation made to him. In the second row, 11 Juliff and 12 West, and loose forward is Ian Potter. The substitutes for Wigan tonight are Whitfield at 14 and Scott, who had a good game in the A-team last night at Castleford, is the other substitute. Bradford Northern beset with a certain number of injuries. Have Green at fullback, Mumby not playing, the tourist. And now we're having the presentation to Brian Case after his very successful tour, receiving his cap. Doesn't seem to be too happy at wearing it. Press insisting, cameramen insisting that he wears it correctly. Bradford Northern's team again then at fullback, Green in place of Mumby. Smith number 2, 3 McGowan, 4 Davies and 5 Francis, who is a very young player who last year was playing in the Colts team. At half back we have Hanley. Back from the tour, stand-off half, Ellery Hanley, and scrum half to him is Robinson. In the front row, Gratian, Noble, another tourist, and number 10 Van Bellen, number 11 Heron, number 12 Jazovic, and at loose forward Hale. Bradford substitutes Fennell and Sheldon. Gratian, who should have made the tour really, and couldn't, looking a massive man as he comes up to the centre to meet Graham West. Toss for ends. Referee tonight's game, Mr. Hay. And Wigan going to play from right to left. Wigan with the backs to the Kop then in the first half of this match with Northern. And it will be Wigan to start the game. Stevenson, who had an excellent game last week at Castleford. Wigan without a regular goal kicker tonight. Both Pendlebury off injured, and Whitfield relegated to the bench. Wigan getting a lot of support and applause from the crowd as it comes to Smith. Smith trying to clear his lines, running cross field, bundled down by the Wigan forwards. Taken by Juliff. Noble, short pass on to Van Bellen. Van Bellen well taken by Potter. Quickly into the tackle there. Bradford trying to get it away, not managing to clear from the 25 yet, as they're moving sideways across the field, and Wigan moving in quickly into the tackle, holding them there, still inside the 25 line. Coming in quickly. And it's Potter. Courtney goes in with Juliff. Last tackle, a kick coming from Hanley behind the defence, and it bounces awkwardly in front of Ferguson and into touch 10 yards inside the Northern half. First scrum of the game. Wigan with the double advantage. Not had the hands on the ball yet. Back not straight. Ferris puts the ball in, looked a bit of feeding there, but he's got away with it. Bradford line up very close to the ball's moved across. and they were lying up too close. The referee had judged, and Wigan got a penalty right in line with the post. Graham West calling for the ball, and Gill is being called over. We saw Gill kicking goals, but they've changed their mind, and Stevenson going to put it into touch, and it's a good effort indeed. Well, Wigan come up with a nice attacking position on the northern 25 line as O'Neill takes the tap onto Ferris. Nobody moving onto the ball yet, as Ramsdale decides he's going to come straight and hard, and he's buried for his pains. O'Neill going over to acting half-back. O'Neill to Juliff. Juliff trying to jink his way through, trying to force his shoulder, being held by Hanley and by Jazovic. And there was a thump went in there, and Juliff's having a job to get up as Wigan slowly lob the ball along the line. West trying to come through, can't get rid of the ball, he's smothered, and there's a fight going on between Ellery and Juliff on the floor as West tries to drag his way forward from acting half-back position. And the Wigan trainer's gone onto the field as well to try and sort them. Juliff feeling very, very aggrieved. Wigan going to have to watch this. They were in trouble last week for retaliation. Wigan going to lose the advantage here. Referee had his little set speech with Hanley, and now Juliff has to be told. We'll probably finish up as a scrum down, I would think. Both players seem to have been warned. Both the judge being equally guilty. Surely he's going to give a scrum down. Yes, he had to give, and he's given the penalty against Wigan. Probably for Juliff retaliating. He was rather sickened in the tackle, so Hanley will kick for touch. And it's a good kick by Hanley. Deep into the Wigan half. And Noble comes up to take the tap. Van Bellen coming charging into it, running sideways, an easy target for the Wigan forwards. As Case and West put him down, Gratian doing the run around, and Wigan in very quickly. Potter moved up very, very fast there to smother that move. Long pass to Hanley. Hanley moving it out. Break here for the centre. Well covered by Graham West. Came across very well to spot that move. Hale waiting for the play, the ball out to Hanley. Hanley a long pass, and there's a big overlap here, and it's been knocked on. Fortunate for Wigan there, the defence was badly stretched over on the far side of the field, and Wigan bringing a substitute on. Juliff must have gone off hurt in that tackle, and Mick Scott is coming on into the second row. Early substitution then for Wigan. Referee not happy with where the ball's come out. Second scrum of the game out to Wigan. Fairhurst moving it across. Cannon trying to make a break. And I think it was Cannon who'd done the covering across before when I thought it, but I wouldn't be sure. Wigan now moving onto the ball. Scott trying to drive his way through. O'Neill waiting for the play of the ball on the close side onto Potter. Potter driving his way forward. Good strong run by Potter, gains a lot of ground. Bradford lying on at the play of the ball as O'Neill moves it across to Fairhurst. Fairhurst on to West. West trying to get rid of the ball, but his arms are held tight and he's forced down to the ground. Wigan finding it difficult to penetrate the Bradford defence, and Cannon tries a kick for touch, it's straight into touch, and so it will be ball back and scrum down inside the Wigan half. Usually Cannon very sure at these kicks for touch, but well off the mark with that one, and this time it will be Robinson to feed the scrum. Robinson then, little juggle with the ball. To the pack, out, he's lost Hanley, trying to make a break from the scrum, being taken by Scott. Missed Hanley there as he came away from the scrum. Gratian hands it on to Hanley. Hanley's dropped it. Potter takes it. Courtney takes it for Wigan. O'Neill on the close side onto Scott. Scott driving his way forward, trying to drag him over to the touchline, manages to keep in play. O'Neill to Case as ever, knocks one off, knocks another off, still ploughing his way forward. Very determined run by Case. Goes out to Fairhurst. Fairhurst to Cannon. Cannon to Potter. Potter trying to go straight. Wigan lost a little of ground there as they moved the ball slowly across the line. Bit of lying on. Referee seeing what's happening as Potter comes onto it. Courtney comes onto it hard, trying to drive through. O'Neill to Fairhurst. Fairhurst kicks behind the defence. It should be well covered by Green at full back. Bounces nicely for him up to his 25. Coming in hard. And he's knocked Ramsdale out. Ramsdale tried to take him from the front and he's unconscious. Came off second best in that tackle there. Hanley going cross field. Stevenson going across, wraps his man up. Hanley waiting for the play of the ball. Switches it back inside. Forwards coming hard onto it. Stevenson again into the tattle. Short pass, Wigan moving up to the line out. They're a bit short on this side of the field. Gratian being held up. And Letts managed to get the goal of the ball. Wigan couldn't do anything there as Hanley breaks through. There's danger here. West is back covering well and good tackling. That's the second time he's covered the break well. And Dennis Ramsdale looking in a bad way. Stretcher coming on for him. Bradford turning on the pressure at the moment as Wigan were having a job to put the man down. Looks like a concussion case here, a bad injury for Ramsdale as he went hard into the tackle. Here's the awkward kick. Ferguson having to go back for it. Sits up for him. Faced with the opposition. Rounds onward, has his ankles taken. Can't get away from that sort of grasp. Wigan on their own 25. Case bringing it away. Coming in hard and powerfully. O'Neill waiting for the play of the ball. And now the referee has eventually stopped the game. And Dennis Ramsdale looks in a bad way. He went in most determinedly for a head-on tackle. Lights come on. And they seem to be having a job to lift him. And he's moving. Looks as if he was out cold there for a while. And Wigan's other substitute coming on, so we're back to the normal line out with Whitfield at centre. 10 minutes gone, no score in this hard game, hard tackling game and hard running. So Wigan had to bring both the substitutes on in the first 10 minutes. It could cause some difficulties later on in the game. O'Neill waiting for the play of the ball. Scott ready to take it first pass, and it's switched inside to him. He runs right back to where the last play of the ball was. O'Neill to Fairhurst. Long pass onto Potter. Potter trying to drive his way through. His arms are locked. Wigan finding it difficult to make ground. High lob pass. Cannon's kick has been charged down. Stevenson goes back. Takes it well. Running strongly, and he's well tackled around his ankle. Referee signals back to one as Sean Edwards comes into the attack. Moving Cannon, trying to move it inside. Wigan let the ball go. Cannon managed to get it out to Ferguson. Ferguson moving quickly, and he's well taken by his opposite number. Going in low around his ankles. Case coming onto it hard and straight, trying to drive his way through. Been intercepted. The referee says it's a knock-on. Wigan a bit fortunate there. Graham West having a word with Brian Case. Jimmy Ferris to feed. In it goes, it's coming out to Wigan. Round the blind side. Ferris jinking, crowd wanting him to get rid of the ball as Edwards had linked up. O'Neill onto Scott. Scott driving in hard. They're forcing him over to the touchline. Just manages to keep in play. Comes on to Courtney. Courtney puts his shoulder in, drags him 10 yards. O'Neill to Scott, to Fairhurst, to West. West straightening up, looking to get rid of it, but he's smothered by the forwards. Fairhurst to Cannon, to Stevenson. Stevenson going to try and make a break, but he can't run through Ellery. And that's the fifth tackle as Edwards comes up. onto Cannon, a penalty to Wigan for offside. Wigan spectators have been screaming for that for a long time. They thought they were lining up too closely. And David Whitfield going to kick for goal. It's a very, very long kick, calling for the sand. It's only a couple of yards inside the northern half, about 10 yards to the left of the post. And this is really a bruising game. Whitfield with the ball teed up very, very high indeed. Right from the touchline, he's touting his run. Lifted it high and just wide. But it was a very good effort. There was a lot of power in that kick and he was only just off the target. And it means that Bradford have to drop out from their own 25. Wigan should regain possession from the dropout as Hanley comes up. 15 minutes gone. Awkward bouncing ball. Ooh, and he's knocked on. Bit of hesitancy there by Ferguson, and Wigan don't seem to have a doctor. Wigan appealing for a doctor to go to see to Ramsdale. So Wigan not regained possession and been pushed back nearly to their own 25 as Robinson comes over to feed the scrum. Looked like a bit of feeding again, lobs it out to Hanley. Hanley doing the run around, and Wigan are in very quickly, and Bradford have lost a lot of ground there through good tackling by Stevenson and Cannon. Jazovic trying to bustle his way through, looking big and hefty but rather ponderous and slow as Noble comes over. Does a switch to Gratian. Gratian coming hard down the middle. Good strong props run there. Wigan having a job putting him down. Eventually he's forced down by Graham West again. And O'Neill. O'Neill looking rather shaken in that tackle. Wigan really in the wars as Bradford come inside, and it's Courtney who takes his man. Hanley doing the run around, a long pass out to the loose one. Jazovic coming through, drops the ball, and it's knocked on as the ball's kicked over the dead ball line. Inside the Wigan 25, Fairhurst to feed. Out to Wigan, Cannon to Edwards. Edwards trying to draw his man, nearly through, gets it out beautifully. On to Stevenson, can he get it to Ferguson? Ferguson having his first block, turns it back inside to Stevenson. Stevenson being held, looking for support, and that was a great run by Wigan down the right wing. Now Wigan hot on the attack, but the defence has had time to cover as Fairhurst juggles with the ball, turning it back inside to the groans of the crowd. O'Neill, Potter onto Scott. Scott turning it back to Potter. Potter a long one onto West, and he can't take it cleanly, and it's been knocked on surely. The referee says it's gone back. As Robinson sends a long pass out onto full-back Green. Green trying to go through. Taken by Cannon and Stevenson. Van Bellen trying to come through. Wrapped up once again. Courtney and Stevenson in the tackle, and Stevenson got hurt in that tackle. They're coming in very hard, these Bradford players, and taking a lot of steam out of Wigan. Out to Hanley. Hanley holding it. Lovely dummy by Hanley. Whitfield taking him, hangs on to him from behind. Quick break by Jazovic. Jazovic coming through, and Western Case are there covering across to take him as he was nearly through the gap. Hale waiting for the play the ball. Hale lobs it back to Hanley. Hanley puts a good grubber kick in. No, it's been taken by Gill. Gill coming inside, shrugging and pulling. Before they eventually, he has to go down under weight of numbers. Inside to Scott. Scott running straight at them. O'Neill waiting for the play of the ball, and Kate's going to come onto it as Bradford moved in very quickly. Grayson was up there very, very, very fast. Fairhurst. Cannon moves it across onto Courtney to Edwards. Edwards has dropped the ball, and it's been snapped up by Jazovic. Bradford with it then inside the Wigan half. Van Bellen driving in hard and straight. West, who've done a tremendous tackling stint into there. Stevenson back on his feet as Heron tries to drive through up to the 25 line. Hale waiting for the play of the ball onto Hanley, being chased across by Scott. They're moving across the line quickly, and Wigan moving across the line quickly and preventing any forward progress as the ball's played back to Francis. Francis moves it inside. Long one onto Gratian. Gratian driving through first, managed to get his pass in. Overlap on the wing here. Wigan covering across as they try to turn it inside. And Potter comes over to complete the tackle made by Whitfield. Robinson, a high awkward ball across the field. Ball's been knocked back. Referee lets play go on. It goes to Hanley. Hanley coming inside. And Potter's dropped on the loose ball. Hanley tried to turn it inside. Potter quickly onto it for Wigan. O'Neill to West. Trying to clear his own 25. Trying to bring the ball away. Quick play the ball. Moving along the line. Onto Ferguson. Ferguson trying to beat his centre, but he's hanging on to him. Taken by Davis. Short pass, made the gap for O'Neill. O'Neill managed to lob the ball out onto Stevenson. Stevenson coming hard and straight, and he really showed power there. As it comes across the line, this is good stuff by Wigan. Cannon not seeming to know quite what to do. Short one onto Case. Case driving hard, still looking for support. Gets it onto O'Neill, who backed him up well. And now Wigan beginning to turn it on. Wigan given a penalty for lying on. A lot of excitement, a lot of tension in this game as players really going into the game hard. Gill wanting to get into the kicking act. Graham West hands him the ball, and Gill's going to kick for goal. Long kick, 3 yards inside the northern half, but it's straight. Not a long run up, left-footed kicker. And he's hooked it. Bradford have it, running it out. Wigan should be 4 points up, but both these goals really kickable to a good kicker. Van Bellen coming driving in hard. Wigan easily hold him. West in again into the tackle. West and Courtney went in well, and it's West in again, this time with Potter. Heron trying to come through, easily tackled by Case. Wigan holding them well at the moment. There's a jink back inside, and West is in there again. Done a tremendous stint of tackling tonight as West. And there's the fifth tackle as Hanley tries to kick behind the defence. And it's been touched. So Bradford are going to have the double advantage. Gill tried to keep it in, got his hand to it, but couldn't keep it in play. And so Bradford will have the feed and the loose head. Might have been better leaving that one. O'Neill having difficulty getting his head in. Halfway through the first half, 20 minutes gone. Robinson coming over, in it goes, coming out to Robinson, and Ferrers penalised for offside at the scrum. Round too quickly. Hanley trying to widen the angle there, takes a little tap at it, makes absolutely sure. So Noble will start with a tap, a few yards outside the Wigan 25. Onto Van Bellen, come running hard. Scott and West going to take him. Noble to Robinson, and Wigan have moved up quickly. And Wigan push them back there. Potter in very, very quickly. Noble going through from acting half-back. Potter goes across, does enough to hold him. And Wigan pushing back as Graham West comes in, playing with great fire and determination. Robinson, long pass onto Hale. Hale turning it back inside. Onto Van Bellen. Van Bellen onto Green, the full-back. And Green is taken. They're having trouble cracking the Wigan defence too as Robinson moves it out. Heron coming through hard. West in again. West in low. A high one for Sean Edwards. Hot snow on it, it's an awkward one. He takes it well as the defence comes on him. Sensibly turns into them. Bit of lying on, and Wigan have got the penalty. Robinson looking amazed, but he was lying on. Stevenson. A good touch kick by Stevenson. Brings Wigan 10 yards outside their own 25. O'Neill to Courtney. Courtney running into them. Just driving in. Now Casey's going to do the same. Another prop. And nearly through there. Roll over, up again. O'Neill to Fairhurst. On to Stevenson, Cannon. On to Edwards. Edwards bringing Gill inside. Gill running into the middle. Gap there if he can get through it. Going across the field there. Still struggling. Good, strong, determined run by Gill. O'Neill to Scott. Scott coming straight down the middle. Well tackled by Jazovic and Gratian. O'Neill to Courtney. Courtney turning, bringing it inside, and West has lost the ball. Pass that don't think really was on there. Wigan trying to move it in too tight an area. In quickly, smothering Bradford. Defence is well on top in this game. Bradford now trying to come down the middle. Hale coming strongly. He's lost the ball. Wigan have it. Snapped up by West. Quick onto the loose ball to O'Neill. O'Neill to Cannon. Cannon moving it on to Edwards. Edwards moving quickly, turning it inside to Furrers. Back to Cannon. Cannon jinks out of one tackle. Determined running by Cannon. Good running by Cannon. Eventually taken round the legs and has to die with it. Comes to Fairhurst. Fairhurst to Scott. Scott having to wait for the pass. Short one. On out to Whitfield. Can Whitfield beat his man? He couldn't get rid of it. Desperate covering there by Bradford. Comes inside to Fairhurst. A long one, rolling along. Cannon takes it. Cannon done with it. On to Ferguson. Can Ferguson beat his man? And he's well tackled. Gets down again. He's been watched very, very carefully. They must have heard of him from Saturday's game. Dummy by Cannon. And a bad kick. Straight over the dead ball line. Overdoes the kicking at times. Wigan hot on the attack there. Would have been better pressing. Right on the line. Lost possession and had to retreat 25 yards. 25 minutes gone, there's still score. Wigan 0, Bradford 0. And Juliff is back out. Recovered from whatever injury his was, but I don't think we'll see Ramsdale again tonight. He looked a real infirmary case. Noble to take the tap. Forwards come bustling away forward. Jazovic, a good strong run, gave him 12 yards of ground before Case and O'Neill put him down. Robinson moving it across to Van Bellen. West is across and Stevenson. Stevenson in very, very strongly at that tackle. Comes behind Robinson. Wigan moving him well. Graham West once more into the tackle. Gratian doing the run around with Robinson. Robinson's hard, he's going to come down the middle. Wrapped up by Courtney. And Courtney's in the tackle again, being helped by Scott. Bradford bogged down at the moment, tried to kick behind the defence. Gill having to go back for it, bounces nicely for him. Going across into midfield, being followed by Hanley, his mate, and Hanley takes him, puts him down. O'Neill waiting for the play of the ball. On to Potter, Potter trying to bustle his way through. Looked as if he was walked on there by someone. Out to Scott, Scott coming hard and straight, driving his way in. Wigan have done better when they've moved the ball. Now it comes to Fairhurst. Fairhurst, a wild pass rolls along the floor. Whitfield, all he can do is drop on that one. Edwards going through from acting half-back. Being taken by Hale. Wanting to have a quick play of the ball, but Hale's not having it. Goes out to Cannon. Cannon puts a little overhead kick here. Taken well by the fullback. Went down very bravely then, did Green, to take that one as Cannon was coming through. Robinson moving the ball across the field. Van Bellen moves it out nicely. Cannon going across and Ferguson dumps his man down. Real hard tackle. It's applause from the crowd for that one. Bradford now trying to move the ball along the ground, but they're going backwards. They managed to slip the ball onto Robinson. Scott goes across and he gets it out. Wigan cover is over, and they've lost the ball, been snapped up. Wigan hot on the attack, driving it away, quickly turning defence into attack there. That was liveliness and alertness of football as it comes out to Courtney. Courtney on to West, been knocked down again, back to Wigan. The referee's going to give it a knock on. Well, it hit West and bounced off him. It hit a Bradford player and bounced off him. And the referee's given the knock on. He's not yet signalled who's going to feed, but looks as if it's going to be Robinson. Ferris saying it's my put in. The referee getting the slow hand clap, and Ferris penalised for incorrect feeding when he had the double advantage. Hanley to kick for touch down the Wigan right wing. Safe and sure, a couple of yards inside the Wigan half. Wigan made the more dangerous break so far, but it's led to nothing as Noble comes to take the tap onto Van Bellen driving in. Courtney, West and Case all into the tattle. Gratian and Wigan caught offside. They play the ball. Referee points to Cannon, and he tells Hanley, telling Hanley to kick for goal. This could put Bradford into the lead, although up till now they've never looked like scoring, and we've just about half an hour gone. Hanley to kick for goal down to the Kop end of the ground. Hard bruising game so far. No quarter being asked for nor given. "13 yards inside the Wigan half. 10 yards to the right of the post. Hanley settles himself. Fine figure of a man. Lifts it high. And it's hit the bar and gone over. And it's still 2 points. Hung in the air, looked as if it was going to creep under the bar. Just caught the crossbar and over, so Wigan go behind after half an hour's play. Whitfield sets it up for Stevenson, who tries a long deep one. It looks a good one. No. Oh, and it bounced very awkwardly in the in-goal area. Case going across, and Potter. Bradford back in their own 25. Gratian moves it inside. Wigan forwards going in, hunting in a pack. Scott and Potter in again. Noble, short one. And Potter just managed to hang on to his man. Acting half back coming through. Potter's across, helped by O'Neill. Robinson, a long one to Gratian. Gratian moving. Hanley sends a wide one in there. There's an overlap down there as Cannon goes across. Brings the wingman inside. Just goes in with his shoulder into Francis. And Francis is bundled over the touchline. Scrum down. 8 yards inside the Bradford half. O'Neill not down. Lot of even and thrutching for position in these front rows. A race apart, the front row men. Have their own little game which they played. Wigan's ball. Ferris to Cannon, standing still. Cannon to Stevenson. Edwards sees a gap, nearly through it. Being held by his opposite number. Welcome. Lying on, the ball comes to Whitfield. Whitfield having to go through from acting half-back. Slips as he goes into the tattle. O'Neill to Fairhurst. Fairhurst to Cannon. Cannon a short one to West. West can't get rid of the ball, dying to get rid of it there to slip that short pass, but his arms were smothered. Cannon going through from Acton now, back puts his kick in, between a race between him and Francis. Ball still loose, goes over the dead ball line, and Ferguson's across there, but it's given offside. I think a penalty to Wigan. Given Hanley offside, a penalty to Wigan. Well, that was very decisive from that kick through, and Cannon followed it up very, very quickly, almost won the race. Telling Gill to have a go at goal. This could level the scores. Wigan coming right back into the attack there. Halfway in from the left-hand touchline for this left-footed kicker. Lot of movement going along among the Bradford players, and he's missed it. Wigan sadly missing the goal kicker. Nowhere near target. Those should be flirted over. There should be at least 5 people on the team who can kick those over. Hanley to drop out from the 25. Wigan lost at home to Bradford last season, one away. Potter managed to get it out to Fairhurst. Fairhurst, a bad wild pass out to Gill, and Gill had to stretch an arm a mile long to try and reach that one. Need elastic arms to reach that pass. It was nowhere near Gill, and so he knocked on. Wasted possession there by Wigan. Robinson to feed. Shoots straight out to Robinson onto Hanley. Hanley onto the fullback, moving across the field onto McGowan. McGowan being swung round by Whitfield, and Stevenson comes in to complete the tackle. Side to Robinson. Robinson straightening up. Jazovic onto Hanley. Hanley being chased across the field. Gets away from Gill very nicely. Potter comes across and takes him, hangs on to him. Good covering by the Wigan loose forward. Ball's played back to Smith. Smith inside, moved across onto Gratian. Gratian trying to go through. Scott is in there, and Case, and they drive him back into his own half. Hale waiting for the play of the ball. Hale moves it inside onto Heron and trying to go through. Noble onto Hale. Hale moves it across to Robinson. Robinson, ball's gone loose, quickly on to Potter. Potter onto Ferguson. Ferguson trying to round his man, gets away from one and then has his ankles tapped. Just can't get that 6 inches moving tonight as he got last Sunday. As Edwards turning and twisting, held outside the 25. 5 minutes to go to half time. Courtney goes driving into the 25 line. O'Neill lobs it onto Fairhurst to Cannon. Back to Fairhurst. Fairhurst onto Scott. Scott turning inside. Arms are wrapped. Absolutely locked. Can't get rid of the ball. O'Neill to Fairhurst. Fairhurst holding it. Running into trouble. Holding it to give a short pass, and it wasn't given. And he's had the ball taken off him, and another chance at penalty. Who's going to take this one? I think Edwards is wanting to have a go. And Whitfield decides he's going to take it. Well, on goal kicks, Wigan should be well ahead in this game. Here comes Hassan for Whitfield. I don't know why he didn't take the last one, because the one effort that he did make was quite a good effort. Coming close up to half time. Wigan 2 points behind as Whitfield prepares to pop this over down to the pavilion end of the field. And that looks, and he's missed it, he's hooked it. Groans from the crowd. And Wigan going to disappoint in the first home game, having got a good crowd here. Had plenty of the game territorially, but not managing to get any points on the board. Hanley comes up to drop out. Wigan made a mess of it from the last one. He tries another deep one, and it's straight into touch, so it's Penalty right in front of the sticks. Sean Edwards is coming up. I'm sure he's saying, let me take them. He kicked them as a schoolboy. They won't let him have it. Whitfield once more. Must get his confidence soon. West persisting with him. Well, Wigan are having the chances. How many penalties kicks is this, Jeff, that they've had now?
7 penalties.
But they've not all been... 5. Yeah, about 5 kicks at goal and nothing to show for it so far. This is absolutely dead easy. And a great roar of delight. Scores goal level. Perhaps Wigan, that might settle Wigan down a little bit. 2 points each. Almost on half-time. Gratian geeing his team up. They're probably very happy to be level at half-time. Wigan missed 4 penalties at goal and kicked 1. There's Robinson kicking out to the Wigan left wing. Hanley decides he's going to take it, trying to get it dead. Covered by Potter. Juggles with it. Coming in hard over the 25. Ferguson had come inside, but he didn't get the pass. Ferguson attacked in half-back, making a run from acting half-back, gains 10 yards of ground. O'Neill waiting for the play of the ball. Short one to Scott. Scott puts his head down, drives in. O'Neill waiting for the play of the ball to Fairhurst. Fairhurst on to Cannon. Cannon on to Courtney. Courtney short one on to West. Nearly knocked him down with it. It hit him high on his shoulder, but he managed to hold on to the ball. O'Neill to Courtney. Courtney taking them on, bashing his way forward. O'Neill going through from acting half-back. A good strong break. There's nobody with him. Managed to bounce up again. Can't get rid of the ball. That's the 6th tackle. Heron out to Robinson. Robinson holding it. Going to try through. Potter hanging, Courtney hanging on to him. Puts him down. Van Bellen, not seen him for a long time. Tries to go through. Case goes low. Out by Scott. Hanley. On to Gratian. Gratian going straight into it. Heavily tackled there by Graham West. Went in really hard into this big man and dumped him. To Robinson. Robinson holding it. Long pass out to Jazovic. Jazovic coming very strongly. And Fairhurst hangs on to him. Played back to Robinson going through from acting half-back. O'Neill and Fairhurst force him down. About a minute to go to half-time as it goes to Hanley. Hanley going to kick behind the defence. And he regains possession as the ball bounced off Whitfield. We're back to 1. McGowan waiting for the play of the ball. McGowan inside to Jazovic. West goes in low and Case goes up at the top to force him down. Noble to Gratian. Gratian driving in hard. Having a job putting him down as Courtney goes in, hanging on to him, trying to drag the ball off him at the same time. Noble waiting for the play of the ball to Heron. Heron coming hard and strong. Wigan defence struggling as Bradford driving in now right on half-time. 10 yards out from the Wigan line. Piling it on. Here's a drop goal. And it's there. Boos from the crowd, but it puts Bradford 1 point in front. Wigan 2, Bradford 3. Right on the stroke of half-time. Obviously playing for time here. That was a obvious ploy there. They bashed the way forward till they were within drop-kicking distance. Whitfield tries a deep one, but it's covered on the try line. Wigan will be desperate to get hold of this ball before half-time as Scott goes into the tattle. Noble waiting for the play of the ball. Keeping it tight in the forwards. Jazovic trying to come through. Fairhurst takes him. Now it's Van Bellen's turn. Cannon goes to take him as he drags his way outside the 25. Noble trying to go through from the play. The ball doesn't get very far. Out to Hanley. Hanley puts a little grubber kick in here, which is dangerous. Referee's going to give the obstruction. Wigan closed in on him. West closed in and giving him the obstruction. Now playing in injury time as Hanley decides to take a tap. Gets it onto Hale. Hale put down by Case, and there goes the whistle for half time in a really hard fought game. Wigan behind as they were on Sunday. Wigan 2, Bradford Northern 3. Should have points on the board.
Corner's made 21 tackles. Corner.
Yeah. Wigan come out. So Wigan come out for the second half of this, what has been a really hard-fought contest. A point behind, player carried off injured, looking rather seriously injured. Wigan have had the chances, they've missed 4 penalty kicks. And Bradford, who've hardly ever been inside the Wigan 25, are probably highly delighted to be leading by 3 points to 2. Ferguson on the Wigan right wing seemed to have class written all over him last week. It was a real handful for Casford, not been able to get away tonight and being faced by a very, very young player indeed, who's doing a very good job marking him. Will be Bradford to start. Wigan playing this half, left to right. Will be hoping for an early score. Feel if once they can get the noses it well in front. Bradford might succumb. Game being held up while the band that's been entertaining us at half time is getting off the field. Hanley, very fine physique for a stand-off half, big and strong. Referee says, right, we'll get on with it. Hanley trying a deep one, it's come clean to Edwards on the try line. Brings Ferguson inside, Ferguson running crossfield into a lot of cover. Broken through, strong run there, bust through the forward cover, that shows his strength. And now it's Gill who's come in the middle, it's our 2 wingmen who are doing the battering through. And he got out of the tat and he's still going powerfully. Trying to show what Ferguson can do, he can do. To Fairhurst. Fairhurst to Case. Case driving in hard. O'Neill. Potter doing a shot. Held on to it. Thought he was going to give a short pass there. Has to die with the ball. Wigan bunched among the forwards. This play the ball. As O'Neill gets it onto Courtney. Courtney, he also trying to drag his way up to the halfway line. Referee signalling that's the 5th tackle. Comes out to Furhurst to Cannon. Cannon puts a little overhead kick here, being chased. Ball still loose, and a fortunate knock back to the full-back. He's very lucky to get that, as Wigan were hot on the attack. Now it's Robinson coming inside. O'Neill takes him round the ankles. Forwards driving in. Scott goes into the tackle, helped by Stevenson. Cannon in as well. Hale behind the play of the ball to Robinson. Robinson to Gratian. Gratian being taken by Scott. Hale waiting for the play of the ball. Hale to Robinson. Robinson turning it inside. Bradford forwards coming, and the ball's been snatched by O'Neill. The referee says he knocked on as he took it. None too happy with that decision, Paul O'Neill. Having won the wrestling match, he then was adjudged to have knocked on. But he reckons it's Bradford who knocked on, not O'Neill. No, it's the other way. I was right the first time. Robinson puts it in. Robinson gets it out round the blind side. Potter following him, and Skull drags him, knocks him to the floor. Davis going through from the play of the ball. Scott hanging on to him. Case comes across with West, and he has to go down. Robinson waiting for the play of the ball. Robinson to Van Bellen. Van Bellen running in. Scott and Courtney take him. Hale waiting for the play of the ball. Hale switches it. Hanley, and Jazovic has made a break in. There's danger. It goes to Hanley. Gets away from Edwards, and Hanley's going to score under the post. The ref. And so it's Bradford who get the early points to make it now Bradford 7 with a kick right underneath the post to Wigan's 2. They let Jazovic through there, made a good strong break, well backed up by Hanley. And he showed his class there in his finishing. Ferguson came across, couldn't get to him. Straight kick for Hanley. Hanley taking a lot of care with this. And he bangs it over Shaw. 5 minutes of the second half gone only. Wigan 2, Bradford 9. Some big strong lads in this Bradford pack, and Wigan having a little trouble holding them. Whitfield to kick off. Tries a deep one. Francis running crossfield, running very wide. Bad run that by Francis, lost a lot of ground. Hanley waiting for the play of the ball. Short pass forwards coming in. Ferris goes into the tattle. Wigan waited a little bit there. Gratian coming in hard. Scott hanging, he's a big son, he's having a job putting him down. He really is a powerful forward, a massive man, a mountain of a man at number 8. Comes to Robinson. Robinson dances out of one tattle, trying to come down the middle. And his hard tattle there, a good hard tattle by Cannon. Long one to Hanley. Hanley another long one to Van Bellen. Ferris goes in, helped by Stevenson. And that's the 5th tattle. Jazovic lobs it back. A high one for Edwards on the halfway line. Doesn't take it cleanly. Gill's there covering him. Gill going to try and go down the middle, kicking out of the tattles. Nearly gave an intercept, and it's the other wingman who's behind him. Ferguson coming through from acting half back. still going strongly. And Heron going across hard and they're mauling away at him. And it looks as if Gill and then Henderson, Gill and Ferguson, the two women, have decided they're going to play them on their own. O'Neill to Scott. Scott going driving in hard, turns it back inside to Potter. Potter managed to get it onto Cannon. Cannon lobs it back onto first. Long one to Edwards. Edwards to West. West going striding through. Throws a wild one out to Ferguson, which he can't take cleanly. Ball rolling to him. Wigan trying to turn it on. Just not having the rub of the green tonight. Ball surely back to Bradford now as they feed. The referee keeping the front rows apart. And predictably it's out to Hanley. Hanley being chased by Cannon, gets away from Cannon. Whitfield hits his man hard and makes him lose the ball. That was a good hard tackle by Whitfield. Cannon going through from acting half back, turning and twisting onto Courtney. Courtney gets it out to Ferguson. Ferguson has a bags of cover there. And he runs back into the middle and runs back into the defence. Fairest. Penalty to Wigan. Right in front of the post. Fairest taking the tap when Wigan could have done with the 2 points penalty, as he did on Sunday. Very bad tactical play there by Wigan. It goes on to Scott. Scott trying to drive his way through. O'Neill waiting for the play of the ball. Switching it inside onto Potter. Potter trying to drive his way. He's held out 8 yards from the line. O'Neill to Fairhurst. Fairhurst sees a gap, trying to dance and jink his way through. Held 5 yards out, right underneath the post. Wigan turning it on now. As O'Neill gets it to Cannon, to Edwards. Edwards going hard, just can't reach over. Came onto that ball well and he's lost the ball in the tackle. Bradford with it on their own 9. Hanley trying to come through from acting half back. Coming away strongly. Fairhurst hanging on, managed to turn the ball inside. O'Neill goes across to smother his man. Van Bellen trying to bring it away. Courtney in quickly to tattle him. Now Van Bellen coming again. Scott hanging on to him. Cates goes in. Wigan pushing him back towards his own try line. Wigan showing a lot of determination now. Noble going through. He's followed across and put down. Wigan like tigers at the moment. That's the 5th tattle. Robinson gets it to Hanley. Hanley hoists a high one to Edwards. Edwards takes it cleanly. Gill coming inside him, doing the switch. Thrown a wild pass which Ferguson has to go back for. Ferguson ducks out of one tackle, still going, and throws a bad pass which Edwards does well to take. And Gill's right over on this wing, inside to O'Neill. O'Neill onto West. West driving hard onto that one, hard and straight. O'Neill to Cannon. Cannon to Case. Case trying to power his way through, being held. They're dragging away at the ball, and Case hanging onto it for dear life. O'Neill running through, turns it back inside to Fairhurst. Fairhurst trying to jink his way through. It's smothered in the 5th tattle. Cannon holding it. Out to Stevenson, on to Ferguson. He misses the ball. He wasn't watching it. Little bit of over-eagerness there. Wigan going to need to steady themselves down. They're trying desperately hard here. Ten minutes gone. Real hard stuff this as Bradford come to put the ball in. There's not one gone against the head yet. Goes out to Hanley. Hanley being followed. Stevenson going across. They have a job getting at him. They follow him. Whitfield puts him down. You have to watch Hanley very carefully. He's very fast and very strong. Scott taking his man West in to complete the tattle. Bradford in possession just outside their own 25. Robinson a long one. Gratian trying to come through, and that's good clean tackling. Robinson holding it, sends a long one to Hanley. Hanley lobs it across. Whitfield hanging on to his man, drags him down to the ground. And Bradford not making any impression on the Wigan defence there, and that's a wild ball. And Courtney's up there quickly to take his man, and Jazovic didn't like it. The referee having a word with Courtney, and Jazovic says he went in with the knees and has given the penalty. They should relieve a lot of the pressure though. Wigan were right up on top of them. Bradford was struggling there. This penalty should bring them away from their own 25 line and give them another 6 tackles. They'd had 6 and made no impression on the Wigan defence. And that's brought them nearly up to the halfway line. As Noble comes up to Gratian. Gratian's met by Courtney. Down he goes. Noble waiting for the play of the ball. Noble trying to go through from acting halfback. Wigan's 2 props. Down him. Robinson behind the play of the ball. Long one from Heron on to Hale. Hale managed to get his pass in. Heron going back inside. Good backing up. Wigan out of position here as Robinson goes for the line. And Wigan backtracking there was sadly caught out of position. Bradford now in a real good attacking position. Goes to Robinson. Robinson moving it across to the wingman. He thought he could have walked in and he's forced into touch a yard short of the corner flag. Wigan sadly caught out of position there after having defended so stoutly for so long. Suddenly seemed extremely vulnerable. Back to 5 yards from their own line. Wigan with the put in. Wigan with the loose head. They got the heads. Comes out to Wigan quickly. Ferrers slow behind. He's nearly caught over his own line. And he's caught underneath the post. He was very, very slow going back for that ball. And he was caught behind the line. So it's a dropout. Wigan lost the advantage there from that scrum. They hooked the ball and now they have to kick it back to Bradford. Whitfield tries a deep one. Left to fullback. Green. Wigan have moved up quickly. And he's thrown a wild pass and O'Neill's up on this quickly. Ball's loose and Wigan have regained possession. Whitfield onto that one. It comes inside to Gill. Gill going to take them on, trying to straighten up and go through, but it's 3 forwards he runs into. Bradford line up very, very close as it comes. And yes, the referee's penalised them. And Wigan really should... They'd be better. Cannon takes a tap, but they could have been playing further down the field in possession. Oh, little over-eagerness here could do with settling down. Comes to Case. Case driving up to the 25, taking them with him. Bradford trying to steal the ball off him. Hangs on. Comes on to Scott, who's on his own there in the wilderness. Wigan not lined out. Great roar from the Wigan crowd. Want him to get with him as that's the 5th tackle. Courtney holding it on to West. West trying to go through. I think he's going to get caught in the 6th tackle. Can't get rid of the ball. No, the referee's not said it's a 6th tackle, a 4th. Potter dragging his way towards the line. O'Neill Stevenson tries a high one. Whitfield's under it. It's over the try line. And it will be a dropout underneath the post. Wigan desperately anxious to get some points on to get into this game. As Hanley comes up. Tries a high, deep one. Edwards takes it. Moving quickly. Trying to go through, taken from behind by Hanley. O'Neill waiting for the play of the ball. O'Neill to Potter. Potter taking them on. Trying to drag his way. Gets over the 25 line. O'Neill to Case, and Case is going to run at them. Trying to run. He's broken through. Pass has been knocked down. The ball's loose. And it's Bradford who fall on it. And Wigan just not getting the rub of the green. The ball not running at all kindly for them. As Cannon follows his man across to put him down. Bradford being penned inside their own 25, but it's Bradford who is still leading by 9 points to 2. Short pass to Grayson. Oh, powerful run by Grayson. O'Neill goes in and he can't get his pass in. And it was a powerful clearing run by Grayson. Gets it out to Hanley. Hanley just hands it on. Turning them back inside to Hanley. Hanley dumbing as if he's going to kick. Dragging them with him. Clever football by Hanley. Robinson kicks behind the Wigan defence and finds touch inside the Wigan half. Touch judges asking, has it been touched? And he's stopping the clock as Mick Scott comes off and Juliff comes back on. Now wondering if Juliff's going to be hunting, looking for revenge. Wigan to feed. And Wigan not down. Wigan front row not in. Pack's wheeled a long way into the centre of the field. Ball's coming out to Fairhurst. On to Gill. Gill's going to try and go down the middle. We can't get away from that good tackling. O'Neill to Fairhurst. To Cannon. To Stevenson. Stevenson going to take them on. Can't get through. O'Neill to Juliff. Juliff running hard into them. Runs into three forwards. Robinson trying to pull the ball off him. O'Neill to Fairhurst. Cannon, a short one, onto Potter. Potter just gets over the halfway line. And Bradford moving in very quickly. As it comes to Cannon. Cannon holding it. Trying to dance his way down the middle. Wigan a very untidy line out as it goes to Fairhurst. Fairhurst hoists a high one. Wigan are under this. Fullback takes it very bravely. A good take by fullback there. As Graham West followed that up quickly. And Wigan not ready for the broken play. Having followed that up and pushed Bradford back into their own 25. O'Neill in quickly to the tackle. Wigan having all this game territorially but just cannot score. Van Bellen coming in. Wigan forwards are in there to take him. Robinson goes across for the play of the ball. Kick behind the Wigan defence. Rolling awkwardly as Edwards goes back for it. Edwards on his own, running cross field. There's not another Wigan player near him, and he moved with great speed there. Wigan slow, getting back. It's Gill who's going to have to do the work, going to have to run them out. If he can get down the middle, running wide. He's knocked down, gets up again, but he's going to be bowled over once more. And Wigan are in a heap. There's no line out at all as it comes to Case. Case running straight and hard. Turns it back inside to Juliff. And Wigan was so close together they just could not get the ball moving. To Fairhurst. Fairhurst to Cannon. On to Whitfield. Whitfield trying to make a break. He's followed and taken from behind. Cannon having to go through on his own. Gets it on to O'Neill. O'Neill lets it go back. Comes on to Cannon. Cannon on to Fairhurst. Fairhurst a wild pass. Ferguson has to go back for it. Coming back onto the outside. Gets it out onto Stevenson. Stevenson going inside. Well tackled by Francis. Back to Edwards. Edwards to Fairhurst. Fairhurst onto Cannon. Cannon coming in straight. Puts in a good grubber kick which has been touched. So Wigan will have the put in the 25. And Hale is playing merry hell about that. So Wigan back into the Bradford 25, and this time they should be able to get the ball out. The line out is terrible. Yeah. Front rows look a little bit reluctant to meet. Somebody not use the right aftershave lotion. In go the heads eventually. Balls into the pack. Wigan have lost one against the head. The pack's collapsed. And it's Bradford who have it. Bradford won one against the head. Francis running crossfield. Sees a gap nearly through it. First hanging on to him from behind. Robinson moves it across. Hanley just hands it on. Juliff goes into the tattle. Hanley hands it on. Short pass and there's a gap. Lobbed out nicely, the ball's loose, Gill has it. Beats one tackle, going for the line, there's bags of cover, and unfortunately he's gone out to the wing and back into touch. Halfway through the second half, 20 minutes gone, and Wigan just cannot crack this Bradford defence. Robinson to feed, shoots straight out of the pack. Ball to go in once more. And it looked like feeding, it got away as it comes to Hanley. Hanley hands it on to the full-back. Whitfield going across, misses his man. It's a chase here with Edwards after his centre. Ferguson's at him and Ferguson takes him well and he's knocked on. He's knocked on. Yes. Well, that was good defence there by Ferguson. Covered back extremely well, but Wigan pushed back into their own 25. I'm desperately needing the ball from this scrum. Lost it with their head the last time they put the ball in. Fairhurst to feed. Coming out the Wigan side. Fairhurst, all he can do is dive with the ball as he dumped down heavily. Dumped very heavily. Cannon waiting for the play of the ball. Coming through from acting half back inside to Ferguson. Get him killed. That was an infirmary pass. O'Neill. Courtney puts his head down. Prop forwards run. Clears his 25 line. Case is going to do the same. Case going in hard. Taken by his opposite number. O'Neill does a switch to Cannon. Cannon onto West. West onto Ferguson. Ferguson having to juggle with it. Slips into the tattle. Up again. Cannon behind the play of the ball to O'Neill. O'Neill to Fairhurst. Fairhurst holding it. A long one to Stevenson. Onto Gill. Bags are covered there as Gill turns inside. Jinking coming down the middle. Trying to go down the middle of the field. A strong run still going. Good run by Gill. A 6 tattle low. Wigan lost possession. Van Bellen coming into the Wigan forwards. Courtney goes in as ever. Done a lot of tackling as Courtney this evening. Noble waiting for the play of the ball. Noble going through from acting halfback. Courtney takes him, helped by Case. Robinson coming through again from acting halfback. Gratian coming powering in. Manages to slip it onto Robinson. Robinson going back inside. O'Neill hanging on to him. Bradford coming in hard and strong at the moment. Strong run by Jazovic. They've had a lot of trouble with him. Gets away from Edwards. Ball's lobbed inside. West is there to cover. And Wigan will be glad to have the ball. O'Neill got cramp, I think. Ferguson coming to act in half-back. Knocks off one. Knocks off another. And he's still going. Strong run by Ferguson. And eventually taking 3 of them to put him down. Stevenson to Case. Case goes galloping forward hard and straight. Going to die with the ball. Cannon to Fairhurst. Fairhurst going to have a go down the middle. Makes a break. Has Whitfield with him. Onto Whitfield. Whitfield can't get moving. Caught from behind on the 25. Comes inside to Cannon. Cannon holding it. A long one to Edwards. Edwards. Onto Juliff. Juliff sees the line. Going for the line. Can't. He's grabbed from behind. And that's the 5th tattle to Cannon. Cannon hoists a high one to nowhere in particular. Bouncing awkwardly. Comes to Gill. Gill coming out to this wing. Has Stevenson outside him. A wild pass which Stevenson can't take. Managed to bring it back inside. Stevenson beats one. Puts an overhead kick in here. Being chased here. And it's Bradford in the shape of Francis. Takes it right on the touchline. Tattle by Case. Bradford push back. Gratian coming hard. Ferguson goes in to take him. Noble coming through from acting half-back. And Gill's across here on this side of the field to put him down. Van Bellen coming in hard. Courtney goes in and buries him. Robinson sends a long pass out to Hanley. Hanley moves it across. Ball's gone loose. Whitfield's up there. And Bradford moving back. The referee says that's the 5th tackle. And here comes the kick behind the defence. It's an awkward ball. It's swinging away from Edwards. He does well to take it. Coming strongly. John steps inside. Side steps again. Nice run by Edwards. Ferguson going on his own from acting half-back. Gets up to the 25 line. O'Neill's over there. O'Neill to Case. Case onto Courtney. Courtney coming strongly, but the ball's dead with him. O'Neill to Fairhurst. Fairhurst to Cannon. Cannon puts a little overhead kick here for Whitfield to chase. Ball's over the line. As Whitfield got it, the referee says the touch judge has signalled it was over the touch line. Tap from the 25. The game ebbing away from Wigan, slipping away from them. They just do not seem to be able to get on top. As Noble runs into O'Neill, O'Neill forces him down. Robinson behind the play of the ball. Robinson to Gratian, coming in very strong, taking 3 forwards to down him. Robinson again behind the play of the ball. And they're keeping it very tight in the forwards. Wigan trying to push them back. Robinson holding it, bringing it inside onto Jazovic, and Jazovic cutting 2 this time after having made some telling runs to Wigan. Hale, long one to Hanley. Hanley moving it across the field. A full-back trying to go through is easily tackled by Potter. McGowan to Hanley. Hanley, and it's hit at Wigan and ball back. Bad kick there. Right on the halfway line. Wigan with the put in. Fairhurst to feed. And there's another one against the head. The Wigan have got a penalty for the scrum half being offside. And Wigan want this in touch instead of the tap penalty. Play them down there. Stevenson makes sure of it, just outside the 25 line. Crowd roaring Wigan on. As Courtney takes them on, running at them. Going to die with the ball. Not got the power that Gratian has as a number 8. Comes to Case. Case running in hard and straight, but there's good tackling by the Bradford forwards, sticking to the task. And now it's switched to Cannon. Cannon a long one to West. West trying to break through. Taken upstairs and downstairs. He plays it to himself. Looking for support. Ball's gone astray. Wigan have knocked on. Can't take it cleanly. Wigan have it. It's the scrum down. If Bradford have it, it's all right. Referee's trying to see who has it. And he's decided it's Wigan's ball, and we're back to 1 as it comes to Fairhurst. Fairhurst to Whitfield. Whitfield brings Stevenson inside. Stevenson jinking. And there's some good tackling going on among this Bradford team. Ferguson from the acting half-back, trying to make ground. He's lost the ball. O'Neill going into the tackle, and Bradford will stick it up the jumpers. About 10 minutes to go. Robinson trying to come away, gets away from a couple of tackles. O'Neill goes in, hanging on to him, force him down to the ground. Bradford forwards coming in hard. Wigan going to meet them. Robinson behind the play of the ball. Out to Van Bellen. Van Bellen coming in. Potter takes him with Graham West. Noble waiting for the play of the ball this time. Out to Robinson. Robinson moving it across. Juliff nearly knocked out the way, but he did enough to be helped by Jimmy Fairhurst. That's the 5th tackle. It comes to Robinson. Puts the kick in. Edwards having to backpedal for it. Takes it nicely on his own 25. Has Henderson Gill with him. Decided he's going to go on his own and play it safe. O'Neill's come up for acting half-back. Gets it to Gill. Gill coming out to the right wing, straightening up, trying to go down the middle. Still dragging his way before he's forced down by the forwards and Hanley. O'Neill to Case. Case trying to batter his way through them and doesn't succeed. To Fairhurst. Fairhurst to Cannon. Cannon to West. West coming straight down the middle. Lets it go back onto Cannon. Cannon turning and twisting. A wild pass comes to Ferguson. Bounced before it got to him. Juliff waiting for the play of the ball, and Ferguson's hurt as it goes to Case. Case running crossfield, gets it on to O'Neill. O'Neill dancing and nothing coming from it. And that's the 5th tackle. Comes to Cannon. Cannon puts a little overhead kick. It's going to bounce nice for him. He has support. Kicks again. O'Neill and Cannon are in for the race. It's over the line. And he can't get the ball. And every time Wigan have made the break, the ball has run away from them. They've been so close so many times to getting the vital break. Cannon in again. Noble going across field. Wigan trying to pen them on the 25 line. Robinson. Forwards coming hard. Jimmy Fairhurst is in. Been a hard, fast game this. Fairhurst is out as Van Bellen comes in. Courtney takes him well. Referee signals that's the 5th tackle. And Gill's touched it and knocked it into touch, I think. What's the touch judge signal? Says it's touched. So Bradford having the luck. And the minutes are ticking away. About 6 minutes to go. Wigan 2, Bradford 9. One that Wigan were expected to win. Robinson puts the ball, it shoots straight out of the scrum. Robinson to try again. And that looked like feeding again. The referees let it go as it comes to Hanley. There's a gap here as Whitfield goes in and stitches it up. Hanley waiting for the play of the ball. Short pass on to Hale. Switched in nicely onto Robinson. And Robinson snatched out there. Gets up again. Acting half-back, running strongly onto Gratian. Gratian managing to get his pass in onto Heron, and Edwards comes in and smothers him. Hale, long pass to Robinson to Hanley. Hanley moves it across onto McGowan. McGowan being held round the angle, been intercepted by Courtney. Can he get the ball out to Gill? Now what can Gill do? Can he beat his opposition? He strides past one, and the cover there is forced into touch. As Hanley covered over extremely well. And Anderson Gill, slight limp as he gets up from that tackle. Robinson shoots straight out again. Scrum half dumming, nearly making the break there. Ball still loose. The referee seeming unsure as to what has happened. Bradford's ball. Wigan line up very close this time. Stevenson takes his man round the ankle, hangs on to him. Hale waiting for the play of the ball. Hale going through from acting half-back. Stevenson's knocked the ball out of his hand. And it's Wigan who have possession. And Julius getting Mulder as well to hang on to that ball. O'Neill to Potter. Potter out to Cannon. Cannon on to Edwards, who turns back inside. He's going to have to go down the middle and run into trouble. Wigan's line out is untidy again. Don't seem to know who's going to have it as it's Cannon who takes it. Turns it inside to Potter. And Wigan playing without any plan nor cohesion at the moment. As it goes to Courtney. Courtney goes driving in. Wigan playing one-man rugby at the moment. O'Neill to Cannon. Cannon turning it onto Juliff. Cannon decides he's going to kick, tries a high one, not very deep, not a lot of ground gain as the forwards go up, and that was... Now then, I think it stopped because of an accident. Clock stopped. There's only about 2 minutes of normal time to go. Territorially, Wigan have had about 75% of this game and have not been able to turn it into points. Very short of a ball playing forward who can make this. They played hard and determinedly, but no one who seems to be able to make the break in the vital part of the field. Noble bringing away, taken by Neil. Robinson behind to play the ball. Forwards keeping it tight. I suppose they're quite happy with the 7-point lead as Hale goes down with the ball. Robinson acting half back onto Van Bellen. Case takes him. Hale acting half back. Short one. Gratian coming in hard and met equally hard by the Wigan props. Two props went in very, very hard then. Robinson kicks behind the defence. Ferguson having to chase back for it. Sits up for him. On his own, trying to come round the outside. Has his ankles taken, turns it inside to Stevenson. Stevenson coming strongly. O'Neill going through from acting half back. Gains a lot of ground. Case to West to Fairhurst. Long one to Cannon onto Whitfield. Whitfield's through the gap and he's just snatched from behind, but he was shifting them, was Whitfield. Cannon onto Juliff. Juliff slips, turning back inside. O'Neill going through from acting half back onto Cannon. Cannon a long pass onto Courtney's let the ball go. Wigan have lost it. Was thrown away rather widely, trying to keep it moving. Heron going through from acting half back, taken by Stevenson. Robinson waiting for the play of the ball out to Hale. And this game dying now with the score Wigan 2, Bradford 9. Gratian still on his feet, difficult man to put down, having trouble putting Robinson down. Noble waiting for the play of the ball. Onto the loose forward. Managed to get the ball going, but still Noble moves it on to Heron. Heron going through strongly. Edwards takes him well, hangs on to his ankles. That's the fifth tackle. Robinson tries an up and under. Edwards is there, takes it well on his own try line. Just in the field of play. Wigan having to drive the way forward. And Wigan given a penalty for offside. Tap taken by Whitfield. Whitfield trying to bring the ball away. Has gained a good 20 yards of ground. Ferguson gone into acting half back. As Gillett decided he's going to go on his own down the middle. Has snatched his collar taken. He's still going, still battling his way forward before he's upped in the air and down. Fairhurst holding it onto Juliff. Juliff trying to come through, turning and twisting, managed to get it back onto Fairhurst. Fairhurst onto Gill. Gill holding it, dummying, going back inside, eventually forced down to the ground. Stevenson to Cannon. Cannon holding it onto Courtney. Courtney puts his shoulder in. O'Neill going through from acting half back. Managed to roll the ball back to Graham West. Graham West, Wigan desperately trying to keep the ball going, and he does get it moving to Cannon. Cannon dummies with it. A high overhead pass. Juliff gets it out onto Ferguson. Ferguson coming back inside. Ferguson still going right down the middle. Plays the ball to himself, looking for support. Gets his pass onto Cannon. Cannon back onto Edwards, and Edwards knocks on. And there goes the hooter for full time. A disappointing result for Wigan, losing the first game of the season on their home ground by 2 points. Wigan 2, Bradford 9. This is your commentator, John McDermott, hoping you've enjoyed the film made by your cameraman, Brian Worthington.
Yeah, that's right, John.
Practice